I have Alan Angels with me, Impact Wrestling star. Big event coming up for Impact Wrestling. Big weekend, actually, I should say.
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory is coming to Chicago. That's the pay-per-view itself, and then Bound for Glory Fallout. You have a big match with Samurai Del Sol on the Fallout show on the 22nd. Just real quick, I wanted to get your thoughts on the match that was announced not too long ago. It's a pretty, what I think is a pretty great matchup for you. A chance for both of you to, maybe win over some more Impact Wrestling fans or show them what you can do since both of you got to the company.
Yeah, for sure. Samurai he's a great competitor. He's awesome. I got a little bit of a chance to get in the ring with him at the Ultimate X match at the 1000th episode of Impact. So, I got a little bit of a taste, but I'm super excited to have a one-on-one match with him. It should be really fun. He's a great competitor. I remember he did a lot. He wrestled a lot. He tagged a lot with my trainer when I first started, AR Fox, and they did a lot of stuff together. So he's a guy that I watched a lot, especially when I was very first starting. So it's really cool that I get to actually have that one-on-one match with him on a big stage, like the Bound for Glory Fallout show. So I'm really excited for that.
So one of the other things I did want to talk about, and I know you don't have a match yet, but Bound for Glory, it's Impact Wrestling's franchise or tentpole event every year. Is there a spot that you're looking to get in on that card? I mean, you have to think you've had a footprint in the X division the past few weeks, past couple months.
Yeah.
Maybe get involved there somewhere. Is there a match that you're looking at trying to get your place on the card?
So there is the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. So possibly you'll be in it. Not too sure, but we'll see. But to just get the chance to wrestle on a Bound for Glory is so big for me, and it'd be such a cool thing to do. Especially I went to Bound for Glory in 2007 as a fan. I was there. It was in Atlanta. So to get to be able to be on that show on that big of a stage in Chicago with that great crowd, the Cicero Stadium is a great venue with a great crowd. To be on the biggest show of the year it would be awesome. So we'll see. Who knows?
There's 10 people announced so far. So 10 is twice as much as 5. I know you like 5.
That is true. I do like 5, apparently.
All right. That's I think gonna be one of my last lame jokes of the call. So
okay, perfect.
I got it out of the way. Since we're talking about Bound for Glory, any favorite memories as a fan? You mentioned the show that you went to. Was it from that show? Anything stand out?
Yeah, I mean, that was the show. I believe Sting wrestled Samoa Joe, and he jumped out of the bleachers on drop kicked Sting on the stairs. So thinking about that is awesome. That night there was an Ultimate X match with LAX in it, and I just remember Hernandez, big ass, just crawling across those ropes, just thinking about how cool that was. Let's see what else. Bound for Glory 2010. I was a big fan of. It was on 10-10-10. I remember
today's the anniversary.
That's right. Yep. Today's the anniversary. I remember watching the Machine Guns wrestle Generation Me and just thinking this is totally different from any kind of wrestling I'd ever seen, especially it being a tag match. I remember as a kid watching tag matches and always kind of dreading them, always kind of thinking they were boring. But that match specifically kind of changed my perspective on that. I think tag team wrestling, not in TNA specifically, but just in general, tag team wrestling at the time was just kind of at a lull, but watching those two teams go at it and just have the banger that they did, they opened the show. It's a match I've watched multiple times since then because it's just so good, so entertaining, so fun. And it really changed my perspective on what not only tag team wrestling, but what pro wrestling in general could be, because there had only been so much wrestling that I'd watched before then. And this was just a faster paced, quicker, thing than I'd ever seen in wrestling. So it was like cool to see like what exactly wrestling could be. You know, is it just open to a realm of possibilities more than I'd seen at that point.
It's kind of funny how you're talking about perception of tag team wrestling in general, but I would say by that point the Motor City Machine Guns were, they're an established name,
Yeah.
a staple of Impact Wrestling. But Generation Me, like, in hindsight, it's like I didn't know who these guys were. I was like, all right, whatever. And then they stole the show. Now you look at who they've become,
Yeah.
the Young Bucks, and what they've done for tag team wrestling in their own way. So there's definitely been teams along the way that have really, really, not only opened my eyes personally to tag team wrestling, but I think generally speaking on a wider level, like across the board, like, and both of them are still killing it now. Like Alex
100%.
Shelley's the Impact World Champion, Saban's the X Division champion. They still team together. Like both of them look like they haven't lost a step. I know you just worked with Saban, things didn't go your way, but
Yeah.
it's fair to say you want a rematch, or maybe you want to
sure.
maybe you want to work with Alex. Like,
Yeah, for sure. I've wrestled Shelly a few times, not on Impact, but I would definitely love to wrestle him on an Impact stage. I think it would be awesome. Saban also, like I said, the Machine Guns were like guys that I looked up to. Like when I was a kid, they were probably like in my top 5 of my favorites. So like to get to say I've now wrestled both of them is an awesome thing. And I definitely will be watching that Saban and Kenta match with a very close eye. I'll see who wins, but I'm kind of hoping that it's Saban so I can get another crack at him.
I would like to see that. I mean, you had the X that last time,
For sure.
the big red X. Maybe,
Yeah, so
you got to find another way to do it.
Yeah, I got to wrestle my way back up there, but we'll get it done.
I want to go back a little bit. June 30th, 2022, you confirmed your AEW deal expired. In that statement that you issued, you talked about you get to show everybody how good you are. In that time, how would you evaluate your career since then? Like, I'm obviously going to assume you have a lot of goals and benchmarks.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them have you reached so far?
Well, I've been signed to another major company in Impact Wrestling, which is, that's pretty, I would say it got to be number one, because you have to have that kind of machine behind you, I believe. But also a big part of it was I just wanted to become a star away from the machine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I always pictured myself having a career of like a Eddie Guerrero or a Chris Jericho, and that they, kind of traveled the world before they became household names. They did a bunch of stuff before they were signed to that, big company. And I kind of wanted to do that. Like I love doing all these indie shows that they're all over the country, all over the world. And I love doing that and wrestling like with a bunch of different people seeing me wrestle. And to do that also with Impact is like, an amazing thing. I love Impact. I've always loved Impact. I remember before I was even here, just saying like how much I thought Impact was killing it right now, especially the X division. They have guys like Ace Austin and Chris Bay and Trey Miguel and guys like that. And just thinking like how much those guys were killing it and how much I wanted to be a part of that. So that in itself is a major goal that I've reached. I would say within the last year that it's gone pretty well. I think it's exactly what I was expecting, and I think I'm exactly where I want to be and where I kind of expected to be right now. So I'm very happy with it.
One of the guys that you were linked to was Kenny Omega. That match that the one singles match you guys had was played a huge role in establishing your identity early on. Is there a guy that you maybe want to be linked like that in Impact Wrestling? It sounds like Saban, we just talked about the Machine Guns and how they inspired you as a fan, but now being there as a performer, is there a certain talent that you maybe want to be linked to like that from an in-ring perspective?
So I think it's kind of already happening in Speedball because he was my first match there, and I feel like we also had a really good match at the Emergence pre-show, and I feel like I'm in the ring with him constantly there, which is not a bad thing in any way. So I think Speedball is probably my biggest rival right now. And I'm just waiting to get that win over him at Impact, and I'm sure it'll happen sooner than later.
I forget who said it, but I just saw somebody say that they watched the movie Bloodsport,
Yeah.
and Speedball Mike Bailey makes all the sense in the world now.
Yep.
And I liked his work before, but then when I read that, it just automatically clicked.
Yeah, he's awesome. He has a shirt actually that he sells on the indies of it's just him with like the blood, but it's the Bloodsport poster.
Yeah.
It says Speedball under. It's pretty cool.
All right. I usually close with a watch list feature. I try to get match picks, different recommendations. Is there a match that you would point to in Impact Wrestling that you would say this is who you're getting? This is the guy that I told you I was going to be last year. Like, this is how good I am. You would sit down and show that anybody this match, and whether it was on BTI or the weekly show or a pay-per-view, anything that comes to mind?
I would probably say my match with Speedball at the Emergence pre-show. That match, I said it after, like right after the match, that I thought that was my best showing so far in Impact. And we both got a chance to go out there and show what we can do. Speedball is always a good dance partner, man. Like he always brings it, always brings the intensity. And I feel like whoever he's in the ring with has to step up their game, or else they're going to get lost in the shuffle, So he definitely brings it out in me every time I get in the ring with him. We have a love-hate relationship. I hate working with him, but you're always going to have a banger match every time. So he's awesome. I think that's definitely my best match there, in ring wise, and the attitude and the character that I got to bring out in it was probably some of my best work. So I definitely say that's probably the number one at Impact right now.
All right. I appreciate the time and the pick. We're going to have to wait and see what's next at Bound for Glory. I know, you kind of have called your shot, pun intended. I was going to try to not to make any more lame jokes, but you're calling your shot. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if you get your name called. But the match with Samurai Del Sol is at BFG Fallout. That's at Cicero Stadium in Chicago on the 22nd. Bound for Glory, the pay-per-views, the 21st. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.